What CR is a horse? Can I wild shape into a horse?
Let me check.
On my turn, I want to cast Sleep. Does that have a saving throw?
Give me a minute. And hold on, I need to check the guard's perception. This could be a while.
Fast-paced action scenes keep us turning pages in books and keep our eyes glued to the screen in movies. Unfortunately, D&D combat can be more rule-checking and math than cool moves. In this video, I will cover some ways to smooth out combat and improve the flow of the game. Fast combat is not for all tables. Some people enjoy sending memes and making jokes during a lengthy combat encounter, and that can actually be really fun. But if you want to keep it flowing, here are the smooth moves. First, for faster combat, you can implement the 1 to 10 rule, where each combat second is 10 seconds in real time, meaning turns are limited to 1 minute. Rolling the d20 and damage at the same time, and having a plan before your turn can cut down seconds or even minutes. And if you do not know what to do, you can always just hold your action and mull it over while the other players have their turns. Dungeons & Dragons is an open book, open note exam. If the Barbarian / Druid had his book open to page 66, he would know that he can transform into CR 1/4 creature. If he flipped to page 310, the riding horse is CR 1/4. Flipping takes time though, and having a few 3x5 cards of his favorite beasts to become is reasonable. Anytime a player wants to use some class-specific abilities, they should open up a browser or the player's handbook while other players are doing their turns. No self-respecting wizard would cast Sleep without knowing how many dice they need or the likelihood that a Constitution save might make it meaningless. Again, D&D is open note, and any caster can spend a short rest in real life copying down spells. Keep a notebook, or even just 3x5 cards on a keyring. For spells that require a lot of math, you might want to ask your DM if spells can just use average damage. Making a plan before combat, identifying party roles, calling out target priorities, and of course not using fireball while allies are in range. I would add that if you are feeling anxious, introduce the rule of I need a minute. Any player or DM that is feeling pressured enough that they are having less fun than fear should be able to say this and take a few minutes for a break. A mid-combat snack break while a player breathes benefits everyone. Keep an eye on what happens during other turns, even if you are flipping through a rulebook. If you do not know what to do on your turn, delay your action to lower on the initiative roll, and this can allow for a more optimal plan to surface. Unless the group consents, players should refrain from table talk during other people's turns. Since Wizards of the Coast bought Dungeons & Dragons, the new edition plays more like Magic the Gathering. There are distinct things to be done during a turn: bonus action, movement, talk, free action, and action. Calling these out as you go through them allows the DM to know what you are doing, and of course, tell them when your turn is done. I keep a sheet of paper with the armor class, hit points, and all ability scores of my players. For the first attack that comes close to their armor class, I ask if it hits just to set the mood. But after it is an 18 means the arrow lands where the armor is weak at the neck and the shoulders. Or at a 14, the sword glances off your shield. Knowing that the party has Constitution as their lowest average score allows me to better plan difficulty level for encounters as well. The giant scorpion attacks you with 2 claw attacks and 1 tail attack. And misses all 3. This gets into metagaming by having minions deal average damage, saves a roll, and a read. It also allows the players to calculate risks, which is something worth discussing in Session 0. Of course, a strong enemy might deal maximum damage each time, which is the same idea, but brought to a sick conclusion. And, as we know, once the big bad is done, the minions run. No sense taking 5 turns to clean up an army of kobolds. When the round resets, do a mental inventory of the mood at the table for the last round. Did that go well? Is anyone dying? How long has combat been going on? Is it sunset already? About every 5 rounds, or 30 minutes, check in with the players to see if anyone needs a break, including yourself. Nobody watches The Matrix to enjoy the moves the police make. A DM should spend the least time on their turns to allow players the biggest roles. And, of course, sometimes just going with a rule of cool and letting players know that you will check the actual rules later not only saves time and arguments, but makes for good memories.
All right, as we planned. I am on the cliffs 40 feet above, waiting for the guarded wagon to be directly beneath me. When it reaches that point, I use 5 feet of action to step off the cliff. Then I use my action to turn into a riding horse as I fall.
For a 40-foot fall, you take 14 points of damage. And how much did you say the horse had?
13, so I am no longer a horse, and I take 1 point of extra damage. I use 15 feet of movement to stand up, use my free action to draw my axe, my bonus action to go into a rage, and scream in fury at the guards. That's all.
2 of the guards will attack you. 1 will hit for 4. Reduce that because you're in a rage to 2 damage.
I use my movement to step out of hiding. No bonus action. I cast Sleep with my action for 22 hit points worth of nap time. I tell Ian that he can get 1 guard and I will take care of the other. Turn over.
The 2 guards not engaged with Ian are now asleep. The round resets, with the 2 remaining guards facing down the barbarian that fell from the sky and destroyed their wagon, and a wizard that has stepped from the shadows.